In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Chrome Macheto Travel Backpack. This is one of Chrome's first attempts at a travel bag, so I'm excited to jump in. I'm Tom, the founder of Pack Hacker, and we share our travel tips and tricks. We do guides and travel gear reviews just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. So let's jump right into the Chrome Macheto Travel Backpack review. Super excited to check this thing out. I'm a personal fan of Chrome. They have a lot of very high durability items that they create. So we're gonna see how this thing holds up from a travel perspective. Let's jump in. Starting on the outside of this pack, it's covered with a 1680D ballistic nylon. That D is gonna stand for denier. Again, that's gonna stand for the weight of 9,000 yards of material. So this stuff is a little bit thicker and heavier than some other nylons, so 1680 is gonna be a higher number. And you can really see that reflected in the weave of this pack. On the outside of the pack, you have this nice minimalistic metal branding here that I think really ties the bag together, so that's gonna be really nice. You've also got some additional reinforcement on the side of the pack, so these are kind of the same material as these compression strap buckles. Overall, add to the shape of the bag and help with the compression functionality of this pack, which we're gonna get into in a little bit. When this pack is fully compressed, it offers a very clean and minimalistic look. However, when it is not compressed whatsoever, it does have a very boxy and cubey look. It sticks out kind of far off of your back and overall doesn't have that much of a polished look. And that's kind of an issue when you're traveling. You know, if you're getting on the airplane and this thing is on your back, you're kind of turning, maybe you're smacking people in the face with the straps or the bag itself. And in this case, you very much well could do that because it is quite fat on your back. We've actually been calling it the chunker as we've been traveling around. So little nickname that we gave it because it is just so chunky and big. Also, when it is chunkier, that weight is gonna be far away from your back. So it is just gonna kind of pull down on you, your center of gravity, a little bit more than a pack with a lower profile would with the weight closer to your back. So major con of this bag when looking at it for travel specifically. Despite the boxy look and the overall large dimensions of the pack, at least seemingly large, we were able to pass this off as a carry-on on both Delta and Spirit Airlines. And again, we were able to slide that easily under the seat in front of us as we were testing it, which is surprising because this thing is super chunky. So yeah, it's carry-on compliant on most airlines. Best way to travel. One of the first things that you'll notice with this bag are the compression straps that go across the bag itself. And these are going to be a thick, durable material. And the overall tying the look together, there are some Duraflex buckles here that are very strong and very tight. So again, those are just gonna add to the overall durability and the tankness of this pack. It's easy to compress overall. And again, on these straps, there are some elastic loops on them where you can kind of hide and tuck away the excess strap. And this, after taking a look at it and guessing, I think this is maybe one of the weakest parts on the bag. So if anything were to fail in this bag, I would say that it would probably be these first because they're just kind of hanging out in the open and they don't appear to be that durable. You've also got some excess strap on the front of the bag around the sides of the logos. So this is good to have if you have a carabiner or something and you wanna clip something to your bag, you wanna hang something off. Maybe, you know, you're at the beach and you have a microfiber towel with a little loop on it. You can hang that off to dry and kind of, you know, not just get all that sand into your bag. So that adds another little bit of versatility that also looks slick with the pack, and it's not really taking away from that aesthetic look at all. For additional compression, there is a YKK zipper that goes around the entirety of the pack. That adds a ton of extra room to your bag, and there's gonna be a lot more space to pack things into when that is uncompressed. So you wanna try to compress that down after you've fully packed up the bag. But again, if you do need to leave it uncompressed, that's fine, and you can fit a ton of stuff in there. Moving on to the harness system, Chrome definitely knows how to make some great backpack straps. These are soft and comfortable, and the foam is high density here. Again, super comfortable, probably from a lot of the learnings that they've come up with through creating a lot of other of their messenger bags and their backpacks for bike commuters and bike couriers. So again, those people are wearing those straps all day. It's gotta be comfortable. There's also a sternum strap on this thing. Pretty standard, again, highly adjustable. Chrome really has that down. I wish that attention to detail was echoed across the rest of the pack though. Although these straps are pretty amazing, there is no option on here for a hip belt, which is, you know, kind of a must for travel. If you do want to be using this thing and carrying it long distances, it really, really helps. Again, like we're middle on the road for hip belts. If you pack this thing up with super heavy stuff, of course you need one. If it's a little bit lighter, maybe you don't, but just having the option to add one would be great and just good for travel overall. Additionally, on the harness, this back panel is really kind of non-existent. So there's no frame sheet here. Although there's a lot of padding in the laptop compartment, which we'll get into in a second, the harness doesn't really feel that stiff on your back. So this thing kind of sags off of your back if it is heavier, and it doesn't really create a super comfortable carry with that harness besides the straps and the sternum strap. The entire strap and harness system is hideable though, and overall it is a slick system. So what you do is you just unbuckle the straps, and this zipper up here is kind of undone. So we'll just stuff everything down there. And then we will put these lower parts into these little slots here. So it's basically all enclosable in this area, which is really nice actually. And it's done in a slick way, I think, compared to some other packs. We zip that up. Oop. Got to get this handle in there. Again, quick note on this handle, it's not very padded. Kind of wish it was. Put that in there, zip it up. Boom, and then you have like a nice briefcase experience. And we'll notice here that there are two spots on the bottom of the pack here that you're able to put these buckles into if you'd like. But I don't really understand that, because once you do put them in there, I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to handle these buckles up here, so they're still kind of dangling off. You could, you know, clip them to one another, tighten them up, and just kind of leave them dangling there. You know, I think more than anything, what this top part is for in the back is to hide the additional kind of strap, if you'd like, off of this thing. So this side, you're gonna have to put that strap in the front, but on the side back here, you can actually hide, if you really cinch it down, this hides nicely right into that area. But I'm not really seeing a world where you would want to keep these compression straps unbuckled, because they are kind of hard to stow. So again, you're always gonna wanna buckle them, and that just means you have to unbuckle these two when you're opening the main clamshell, which we'll get into in a second. And then wrapping it up, we've got two pretty thick briefcase-like handles here that actually offer a pretty great carry as a briefcase. As long as it's not too heavy, the weight is pretty evenly distributed inside of this pack. So it is centered, and these handles are near the center of the pack. Again, super strong, not super padded, but these are a little bit more comfortable than that strap that we looked at on the top of the pack. Moving on to the inside of the pack, we have these two pockets on the front hand side of the pack. So this one down here is gonna go down to the very bottom of the pack, and that's gonna be great. I just got like a notebook in here. You can really feel that liner in there. That's going to be 1000D tarpaulin. So very weather resistant material that they do have inside of here. Inside of here too, you're gonna see a nice metal keychain. This is a nice feature from Chrome, considering that a lot of other travel backpacks just kind of have this crappy plastic keychain that doesn't seem to be too durable. So that's there if you want to use it. Moving on to the top pocket here, this is still going to have that tarpaulin liner, but again, it also has a little bit more of a nylon liner. So in here, I've just got some toiletries. And what's nice about this pocket is that if you're going through airport security, you do want to put your toiletry bag in there. Easy enough to pull that out in a quick way, so you can keep your liquid separate from the rest of your pack. And again, this is gonna be enclosed with a weather-resistant YKK zipper. The zippers on this pack are super beefy, and they're all YKK, so Chrome definitely didn't slouch there at all. On the back side of the pack, you're going to see a laptop compartment, and this is going to hold about a 15-inch laptop, and it's super padded on all sides of this thing. Although there isn't a stiffer frame sheet in the back, we definitely would like to see that maybe in the next iteration that they do end up doing. There is a ton of padding here, and again, with the pocket being centered, the laptop inside can't really go up to the edge specifically. So if you do end up dropping this on the side, it's not gonna impact your laptop. There's about an inch or two of additional padding here. Moving on to the main clamshell of this bag, we can access it by getting rid of these compression straps, or unclipping them rather. And we'll just open this up. Now, Chrome has taken a lot of inspiration from the suitcase, and I think that's really great. This is about as clamshell as a clamshell can get, so everything in here is gonna be laid out and just feeling really like a suitcase. You can tell where they got their inspiration from. On this left-hand side, we've got a mesh divider that we can then unzip. Again, some nice YKK zippers we got going on. You definitely don't have to put in packing cubes here if you don't want to. We've got the Eagle Creek Spectre cubes here. These are some of our favorite packing cubes at Packhacker due to how lightweight they are and compressible they are. But we can just pull this out so we can see actually how much space is in this thing. So that top pocket on the front, you can see the outline of the toiletry case here. That's gonna eat into this space, but there's a ton of space going on here. Could put your individual clothes here, zip up this mesh top, and everything would be good to go. But again, we're big fans of packing cubes. So we'll just get those back in there and re-zip this thing up. Not much going on inside of this mesh pocket other than the lining, but on the right-hand side, we have quite a bit more going on to take a look at. So on the top here, there's actually a bit of a zippered compartment here that you can fit in flatter items, and that goes all the way down to the bottom of the bag. Then the bottom here, we have a 1/3 mesh pocket that's, unzips and goes across the bag. What's nice about the mesh is that you can see what's going on here. So we just have a camera, deck of playing cards, a couple multi-tools. And again, this entire thing opens up as well. So sticking with that theme of the suitcase, we do have this nice divider here, another packing cube down here, and a Magpul DACA pouch. Now, keep in mind that this side is where the laptop goes. So this isn't quite as deep as the mesh pocket side. There's a little bit less space on this side, but again, it's gonna be easy enough to fit all your things inside of this as well. One thing on the inside of this compartment that's a little bit odd is this kind of extra Velcro strap going on. So I'm not exactly sure what this is for. I guess you could loop something around it if you wanted to keep it a little bit more secure, but that's here. And let me know in the comments if you know exactly what that's for. One other thing to note is that there was a little bit of a tag up here that gives you some additional information about the Chrome bag. And right on here it says, warranty voided if label removed. Well, before I was shooting this video, I noticed it, and I was trying to kind of pull it a little bit to see what it meant, and the whole thing came off. So I guess my warranty is voided. Oh well. Careful if you get one. Do not pull this little tab, this little green tab inside of this compartment. It's gonna fly off. With all the pockets and compartments going on inside of this pack, Chrome claims that this thing is 42 to 48 liters, depending if it's compressed or uncompressed. And that to us feels about right. It actually feels like a bit of a generous guess as to how many liters there are. Maybe it's the additional padding or the materials that's used that kind of eat into the size of this pack a little bit. But overall, you can fit a lot of stuff in here. Again, just note that thing is gonna be sticking out far off your back if it's fully uncompressed. And again, keep in mind there's no liter standard across different backpack brands. At the time of this review, we've been testing the Chrome Macheto backpack for about 1.5 months. I've been traveling with my partner across Minnesota, Los Angeles, and New York City, and now here in Detroit. So we've definitely put it through the ringer. We've had it on a lot of different flights. So Lauren has been using this thing for the past 1.5 months. We've been switching the backpack back and forth, and her and I have been noting our thoughts for this review. One of the first bags that I ever had that I really liked was this Chrome Messenger bag. And again, I used that for about 8 years. I would use it in Minnesota when I used to bike to and from work, 11 miles each way. I brought it over to New York City with me, and I had that on the subway nearly every day. Overall, the durability was super high on it, and I never just needed to replace it at all. You can see that it's still in very good condition. The only thing that happened was that this Duraflex buckle ended up breaking at one point. I shut it in a car door, which, yeah, it's gonna break. But I ended up bringing this into the Chrome store in Soho, and they just sewed it up and fixed it for me right on site for free. So Chrome definitely stands behind their products, and they take pride in durability. If anything was going to fail, I would assume that it was going to be those little elastic loops that are on the compression systems themselves. So that's about the only weak point that I can identify on this. And besides that warranty tag that ended up falling off, I'd say you're in pretty good hands as far as durability goes with the Chrome Macheto Travel Backpack. Overall, the Chrome Macheto is a great looking travel backpack. There are a ton of smart features, the layout is pretty great, and the durability is super high. What this bag doesn't have, however, is a comfortable carry. So it's just a little bit too cubey. It hangs off your back and kind of pulls your center of gravity down with it. We'd recommend going with a bag with a little bit lower of a profile, especially if you're traveling for a longer period of time. It's just gonna make your life easier as you're going through the airport, you know, getting on an airplane, you know, rolling into your hotel, your Airbnb, or your hostel. It's just gonna be easier and more manageable to have this thing so you're not turning around and knocking everything over that's around you. Let's wrap this up with some pros and cons. So the first pro is that this thing has a slick look. Overall, Chrome makes some very beautiful looking products. The Chrome Macheto is no exception. The durability on this thing is high from a trusted brand. A lot of the products that these guys make are for people that use them every day in harsher environments than travel. There are a lot of smart suitcase-like features that will feel familiar to the traveler, and they'll be able to utilize all those features. So let's move into the glaring cons of this backpack. Again, I was super excited about this bag, but there's a couple things about it that make it really tough for one bag travel. It's too bulky and cubey, even if it is okay and carry-on compliant in its compressed state. The harness system isn't the best for the size and shape of the bag, so the straps and the sternum strap are really great, but again, there's no frame sheet, so it can just kind of sag in the back. There's no option for a hip belt, which is gonna be a tough sell for some travelers. The last con is that these compression buckles here are a little bit hard to deal with. They're a little bit bigger and they're hard to hide should you not want to use them. Thanks for taking a look at the Chrome Macheto review. Head over to packhacker.com where we do have that full review listed. We also add some additional tech specs and details on the sidebar there, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you're still around, I'm guessing that you do like travel gear and you're looking to optimize your travel experience. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter at packhacker.com/newsletter and never miss an update. Thanks for taking a look at this video. We'll see you in the next one. And in this video, why do I keep doing in this video? Why do I keep doing that? Make sure to thanks for checking, oh, whoops, we're talking about the other parts of the pack first.